Well, the Tennesseans have won the 2012 election at least. Or have we? In Tennessee, maybe people were listening to me when I said pay attention to who your local representatives are. Maybe. Because, let me put it this way, Tennessee now has a supermajority of Republicans in both the Senate and the House. Now, this is Tennessee. It's had nothing to do with Washington, D.C. Here in Tennessee, the Senate and the House, supermajority means they have enough votes to override any Democratic filibuster or whatever they try to, anything the Democrats try to do to block anything. All right, we have a Republican governor. However, the Republican governor, I'm not sure, isn't too far in bed with the feds. Here's what Tennesseans need to do now. You need to get on the horn with these representatives and say that we need to be insulated. Tennessee needs to get its own reserves and stuff like that to insulate us from the federal government. There's supposed Tea Partiers in everywhere now in Tennessee. So I expect the Constitution and the liberty of the people of the state of Tennessee to be restored. Freedom should be the new thing in Tennessee. Nonsense like what happened to me should be no more to anybody. The rights of the people in the state of Tennessee should be full-blown. Republican governor, Republican Senate, Republican House of Representatives. There should be nothing in there to continue the course of state-funded racism. There should be nothing in there to continue this. There should be Tennessee should be a shining beacon of freedom. And now that Tennessee has this supermajority of supposed conservatives, let's see if things change. Everybody's watching y'all up there at Capitol Hill in Tennessee now. We're watching. You have the power. You have the power to get rid of these stupid regulations. You have the power to tell the federal government to get the hell out. That's right. Tennessee has the power now. You can't say there's no reason for argument. You got super majorities in both houses. People of Tennessee have given the Republican Party the power. Do what you promised now, Tennessee Republicans. Do it. Pick up that Constitution, this Tennessee state Constitution, and start following it. Republicans are not supposed to be protectionists. Here's a message to you Republicans out there that are protectionists. Benjamin Franklin best said it. Have y'all ever heard of Benjamin Franklin? Those who give up liberty for security deserve neither. Get rid of the Department of Homeland Security out of our state, and it needs to go to volunteerism. There's no reason that the state guard, we have a state guard here. That's right. All volunteers. That should be expanded. All volunteer force, state guard. You know what? Each county has state guard. If the sheriff has a problem with gangs or something, the sheriff can call the state guard. If the highway patrol has a problem, there's a catastrophe, the governor can activate the state guard. All volunteers. Nobody has to get paid. Make our state guard like over in Sweden. Everybody has to show up once a year to muster with their rifle. Every state guard member is required to keep, 2 of those battle packs of ammo, and at your yearly thing, you have to show up with your thing to show that you still have your stuff. How about a year of training in high school? Not a year of training just for that. But like what do they call it now? A semester of military training for every high school person. That's right, women and men and women both. Before you get out of high school, you know how the rank structure. All you have to do is know what rank means. This stripe means this, that stripe means that. Very basic stuff. You learn your chain of command. You'll learn how to fire a 9mm pistol. You'll learn how to break down and operate a M16, a saw, and maybe a couple of other weapons. Maybe some anti-aircraft weapon, an anti-tank weapon. So every man and woman in the state will have the basic knowledge. If they're called up, if something happens, everybody will have the knowledge to operate this stuff. All right, the basic knowledge. Now the volunteers at the State Guard would, of course, they're volunteers. They would be going in their monthly meetings like they do now. We just expand it. And the State Guard is under the control of the governor, not FEMA. Not FEMA. The State Guard is not federal. They've already taken away our National Guard. That's right, the Tennessee National Guard has been federalized. The State Guard stays here in the state. It's all volunteer. Nobody gets paid a dime. That State Guard could save us oodles of money. You know what? If there's a disaster in the county, you got the State Guard. If the State Guard goes to monthly meetings, they can be taught how to drive that truck, how to haul supplies. Heck, there's probably State Guard members like me that have CDLs. I'm not a State Guard member. I'm not physically able. I mean, I could sit behind a radio and run it. I'm qualified to run communications for the State Guard if necessary. I mean, that's not really physical. But Tennessee needs to go back to being the volunteer state. People have to encourage neighborhood watches. You're going to have to go out and look out for your neighbor because you know what? We're not going to have police officers on every corner. That doesn't mean to get binoculars and go stare at your neighbors. If your neighbor's not doing anything, leave them alone. It's his freedom too. No more than you want somebody poking their nose in your business. You got to stay out of their other personal business as long as their business doesn't come into your property. Everything's good to go. So now we have the supermajority. Oh, another video coming up. Dianne Feinstein ain't wasting no time about that assault weapon ban. Remember that videos I made a little while back? I'll put a link to it in the more info section. Here comes the assault. I think this time it's going to be pistol grips, high capacity magazines, anything with a pistol grip, high capacity magazine. Let me see what else it is. There was something else here. Let me look. To ban all assault rifles, high capacity magazines, and pistol grips. Okay, so if it has a pistol grip or a high capacity magazine, you got to turn it in. It's not going to be, apparently the way I see it, apparently the way I'm reading it is not going to be a grandfathered in type thing. So there's something the Tennessee Republicans can insulate us from. They need to make the Firearms Freedom Act. Tennessee passed the Firearms Freedom Act, but the governor's office, the executive office, doesn't want to enforce the rights of the Tennesseans. It's like he's afraid. Those firearms laws, if they don't go out of the state of Tennessee, if they're not crossing state lines, the federal government shouldn't even get no say-so about it. None. Firearms in this state are, if Tennesseans, you know what would make them mad? I mean, it's not nothing major, but let's say any 22 rimfire. Let's make rimfire automatic weapons legal in Tennessee. How about that? So everybody can have a toy, which wouldn't really be a toy, but, you know, a 22 rimfire saw. You know, we can have a saw that's just 22 rimfires. And if you're part of the state guard, you would be qualified to have a full size one anyway. So I don't know. You know, if you got prior military service and you get the state guard, let's say, this is a for instance, let's say you're a member of the state guard for a year, you've got your first stripe, okay? At that time, you're issued a rifle to take home with you and lock up. Or you can purchase a rifle. Let's not cost the state any money. If you wish to purchase a rifle, and what's a couple of battle packs? 420 rounds of ammo. You're required to keep that rifle at home. So if you're called up, you load up, you put your uniform on, you grab your rifle, and you go to wherever you're called to go to. State Guard. 99.9% of the time, you're going to be sitting there with your empty rifle anyway, just guarding something, you know, preventing looting and stuff. So if you think you're going to be Rambo, nah. If you want to be Rambo, you're going to have to join the regular, the Navy, join the Marines. Yeah, Rambos need to join the regular Marines, become SEALs, and do that. The State Guard, we're more or less probably going to be relegated to looting prevention in case of a disaster. Or, I mean, at the very worst case, cordoning off something if somebody had a problem with some big gang, you know. The sheriff's office would have their little SWAT teams, and the State Guard would just maybe block off the streets or something. That way, we don't have to have super high manpower police departments. It's the responsibility of the individual Tennessean to look out for each other. Let's get the federal government out of here. Call your new representatives at the first available chance. Tell them to insulate us from Washington. Here's something real simple, very simple. The federal government has a strategic petroleum reserve. Perhaps the state of Tennessee should have a small, every county should have enough gas for their vehicles to run a month. You know, figure out whatever the gas bill is for your county for a month, and make sure you have a storage tank in your county that will fuel your vehicles for a month. Now, 30 days isn't much. Not much at all. I mean, it's just like rotating your own gas tank. All right? The state could help with the farmers' co-ops in each county to have a grain silo where each county could have stored 6 months worth of feed grains at all times. All these things insulate us from a disaster. So we don't have to holler for FEMA. We don't need FEMA. Don't need them. It's up to us now that we've voted in the Republicans to get FEMA out of our state. Tell them we can prepare. We can take care of ourselves. Thank you very much, but no thank you. Stay up there in Washington.